Did you know that the places where you store your money could be limiting your financial abundance? Without realizing it, you might be keeping your savings in spots that not only fail to support prosperity, but may even be attracting scarcity. In this video, we'll uncover 7 key areas in your home that, according to Buddhist teachings, could be blocking the flow of wealth and financial well-being. Plus, I'll share 7 real-life stories that demonstrate how these places can unexpectedly affect the energy of money in your life. Stay with us until the end, because what you learn today could transform your relationship with money and reshape your financial future. Small changes in how you manage and store your money can open the door to new levels of prosperity. Before we get started, I encourage you to write in the comments, "I attract wealth and prosperity into my life." Doing so will activate positive energy and strengthen your intention to invite abundance. This simple action sends a powerful message to the universe, aligning your mindset and actions with your financial goals. Don't miss this opportunity to enhance your path to success. In Buddhism, we understand that our connection with money goes beyond the material. The place where you store it directly impacts your energy flow. Just as water needs to circulate to remain pure and vital, your money needs to be stored in a way that attracts prosperity. Often, without realizing it, we place our money in areas that hinder its energy, creating blocks that can invite negative outcomes or financial difficulties. Are you curious about these places? Let's discover them together. Place number 1, under the bed. Let me share a story about Sala, a woman from a small village near the mountains. Known for her diligence and frugality, Sala didn't earn much, but she saved what little she had in hopes of improving her situation. However, despite her efforts, unexpected expenses always seemed to arise: home repairs or the constant feeling of financial insufficiency. Sala kept her money in what she thought was a safe place, under her bed. She believed that keeping it close while she slept would ensure its security. One day, feeling overwhelmed, Sala decided to visit an elderly Buddhist nun known in the village for her wisdom about home energies. After expressing her concerns about her finances, the nun asked a simple question that would forever change Sala's perspective. "Where do you store your money?" Surprised, Sala replied, "Under my bed, teacher." "I thought keeping it close would ensure its safety." The nun slowly nodded, her face thoughtful. "I see. But do you know what happens to the energy you keep under your bed? Come with me to your old boxes. I want to show you something." Indeed, Sala's money was tucked away in a corner. The elderly woman gestured gently for Sala to retrieve the money and sat beside her on the floor. "The space under your bed," said the nun, "is where you rest, where you disconnect from the world. It's a place of inactivity and stillness. Think about this. When you sleep, your energy calms and life pauses for a few hours. The money you store here is also trapped in that same stillness, as if you've put it to sleep alongside you." Sala listened carefully. "Money," the nun continued, "is like a river. It needs to flow freely and be in places where energy is active and vital. By hiding it under your bed, you stop its movement, trapping it in a space where energy can't circulate. Keeping it here is like closing the door to the flow of prosperity in your life." Sala sat in silence, contemplating these words. "But I thought that by keeping it close while I slept, I was protecting it," she said. The elderly woman nodded empathetically. "It's natural to want to protect your money, but it also needs to be in a place where the energy is alive. Have you noticed that despite saving, you always feel like your money slips away? That's because by keeping it in one place, its energy stagnates. The space under your bed is full of static energy, and even the objects you store there reflect that stagnation. How can your money grow and multiply if you keep it trapped in such an inactive place? Sala looked under her bed and realized how many forgotten and disorganized things were gathering dust and blocking the flow of energy. The nun smiled and said, "What I suggest is that you clean this space. Remove not only the money, but everything else you've trapped here. Free this place from inactivity, and you'll see how, little by little, the flow of prosperity will start moving in your life." Sala followed the nun's advice. She not only removed her money from under the bed, but also cleaned the space entirely, leaving it clear and allowing the energy to flow freely. Over time, Sala began to notice small changes in her financial situation. It wasn't a radical transformation, but there was a steady flow of opportunities and a peace of mind she hadn't experienced before. She understood that the place where we store our money is not just a physical space, but a reflection of how energy flows in our lives. The place where you store your money matters more than you think, the nun had said. And finally, Sala understood its meaning. Money, like all things in life, responds to energy. Just as you wouldn't leave your dreams trapped in the dark, you shouldn't allow your prosperity to stagnate in a place where energy doesn't move. Place number 2, kitchen drawers. Let's move on to the second place you should avoid storing money: kitchen drawers. It might seem convenient due to their accessibility, but in reality, they can be one of the worst places to keep your money. Let's explore why. The kitchen is a place of transformation where raw ingredients become meals that nourish and sustain our lives. It's a space full of activity and energy where essential processes for our well-being take place. However, kitchen drawers, those small, often chaotic spaces, don't reflect the vitality and movement of the kitchen. Drawers are usually filled with utensils, papers, and small objects that accumulate over time, creating a sense of chaos and disorder. In Buddhist teachings, order is crucial for energy to flow freely. A disorganized drawer represents trapped energy, a place where things are mixed and clarity is lost in the clutter. If you decide to store money in a kitchen drawer, you're mixing it with this chaotic energy. Instead of being a place of growth and prosperity, the drawer symbolizes a space where money is surrounded by unrelated objects and papers, lacking any connection to abundance. This lack of order and clarity can directly affect your relationship with money. Imagine that money, as a form of energy, needs an environment where it can move and thrive. When stored in a disorganized drawer, it's trapped in a space where it can't grow or multiply. The energy around it becomes stagnant, just like the forgotten objects and accumulated clutter, creating a barrier to the flow of abundance. Instead of letting your money mingle with the chaos of the drawer, find a clutter-free space. An organized and tidy environment reflects a place where energy can flow and prosper. Consider using a safe, a specific folder for important documents, or any other space that allows you to store money clearly and accessibly. Remember, the way you handle and store your money is an extension of how you value your prosperity. Avoid places that symbolize disorder and chaos, and instead, choose spaces where your money feels protected and in harmony with the flow of positive energy. An organized environment will attract more abundance into your life, while disorder will only scatter your economic opportunities. Place number 3, the bathroom. Let me share a story that illustrates why keeping money in the bathroom can be one of the worst decisions for your prosperity. Many years ago, in a small village, there lived a wise old man named Tenzin. He was known for his profound wisdom and his ability to help people understand the flow of energy in their lives. One day, a young woman named Sala, who was experiencing financial difficulties, came to him seeking advice. Sala was desperate to improve her financial situation and had heard about an old trick involving keeping money in the bathroom, hoping it would bring her luck. She decided to follow this advice and began storing small amounts of money there. At first, Sala thought she was doing the right thing. However, over time, her financial problems didn't improve. In fact, she felt her situation was worsening. Desperate for a solution, she sought help from Tenzin. Tenzin listened attentively to Sala's story and then asked her to show him the bathroom where she kept her money. When they arrived, Tenzin examined the space thoughtfully and explained, "Sala, the bathroom is a place where we purify ourselves and rid our bodies of what we no longer need. The water flowing through the pipes symbolizes elimination, the constant flow of what is no longer valuable. When you keep money in the bathroom, you are essentially placing your wealth in a space associated with waste and disregard. In Buddhist teachings, we understand that money is a form of energy. This energy needs to be in a place that reflects care and prosperity. The bathroom, while essential for cleaning and purification, is also a place of waste, a space where what we don't want is sent down the drain." Tenzin took a small bowl of water and gently poured it down the drain. "Think of money as this water," he continued. "When it's in the bathroom, it risks being swept away by the flow of elimination. If you want your wealth to grow and be preserved, you should place it in a space that reflects care and respect, not in a space associated with waste." Struck by Tenzin's wisdom, Sala decided to change her approach. She removed the money from the bathroom and placed it in a safe, in a well-organized and well-lit area of her home. She also began to treat her finances with greater attention and respect. Over time, Sala noticed a significant improvement in her financial situation. Her prosperity began to flow more naturally, and her financial problems eased. Sala had learned a valuable lesson about the connection between the environment of her money and her financial well-being. The bathroom, as Tenzin explained, is a place of elimination, not accumulation. Your money deserves a space where it can flourish and grow, not one associated with waste and disregard. Where it risks being lost or diminished, remember that the bathroom is not a suitable place for your wealth. Choose an environment that reflects prosperity and care, and you'll begin to see improvements in your financial situation as the energy of abundance flows more freely in your life. As positive energy starts to flow, treat your money with the same attention as your well-being and watch your prosperity flourish. Place number 4, the storage room or basement. Let me share a story that shows why the storage room or basement can be one of the worst places to keep your money and how it can directly impact your prosperity. Long ago, in a mountainous village, there lived a man named Ludin. Ludin was a hard worker, but despite his efforts, he always struggled financially. No matter how hard he worked, money seemed to slip through his fingers. It felt as if every time he earned something, it quickly disappeared. One day, Ludin decided to seek advice from a Buddhist sage, Master Sen, who was known for his teachings on energy and prosperity. Ludin explained his situation, hoping to gain some wisdom on how to improve his financial life. After listening attentively, Master Sen asked Ludin where he stored his money at home. Somewhat embarrassed, Ludin admitted that he kept his money hidden in a box in the basement alongside old and unused items. The sage smiled understandingly and said, "Come, show me this place." When they arrived at Ludin's house, they descended into the basement. The space was dark, filled with dusty boxes, broken objects, and old furniture. The air was heavy, and the silence felt unsettling. Master Sen stopped in the middle of the basement and spoke softly but firmly. "This place is filled with what you've forgotten. Here, things that are no longer useful, objects that no longer have life, accumulate. Everything here is trapped in the past, stagnant and purposeless. And just like these forgotten objects, your money is also trapped here." Ludin listened, intrigued. "But Master, I thought I was protecting my money by hiding it here, where no one could find it," he said. The sage smiled again. "I understand your intention, but you've overlooked something important. Money is energy, and like all energy, it needs to flow, to move, and to be surrounded by vitality. When you hide it in a place full of stagnant, forgotten things, you trap its energy too. You create a blockage in the flow of prosperity." Master Sen picked up a small, dusty wooden box and opened it. Inside were some bills Ludin had saved years ago. "This money, like these objects, has been completely forgotten," the sage said. "It's been here so long that its energy is trapped. The basement and storage room are places where life doesn't flow, where the past accumulates with no room for the new. If your money stays here, it's surrounded by stagnant energy." Ludin looked around, realizing the truth in the sage's words. Suddenly, everything made sense. His money was buried in a place where energy was blocked, and this was affecting his ability to bring in new opportunities. "If you want your prosperity to grow," the sage continued, "you need to keep your money in a place where energy is alive, where light and movement flow. The basement symbolizes the past and inactivity. Your money shouldn't be here, surrounded by things that no longer have life." Moved by these words, Ludin decided to make a change. He began by cleaning his basement, discarding items he no longer needed, and organizing what was still useful. Most importantly, he moved his money from that dark place to a brighter, more active area of his home, somewhere it could receive respect and attention. Over time, Ludin noticed that his financial situation began to improve. It didn't happen overnight, but gradually, as he changed the energy in his home, the energy in his life shifted as well. Money started to flow more freely, and economic opportunities that once seemed scarce began to appear. This story reminds us that where we keep our money is more than just a physical choice. It's a reflection of how we manage the energy of prosperity in our lives. The way we store our money reflects how we treat and value it. Disorganized, forgotten, or dark spaces, like storage rooms and basements, can block the flow of prosperity. If you want to attract abundance, make sure your money is kept in a place where energy flows with clarity and vitality. Place number 5. Old clothes or pockets. Let me share another story that demonstrates why keeping money in old clothes or pockets can be detrimental to your prosperity, and how this habit can affect your financial well-being. In a small monastery, there lived a monk named Tenzin. He had dedicated much of his life to meditation and lived simply. His clothes were modest, and he always wore an old robe that had belonged to his master. The robe symbolized wisdom and gratitude, but over time, it had become more of a nostalgic relic than a practical garment. One day, while cleaning his cell, Tenzin discovered a pouch of money he had forgotten at the bottom of one of his drawers. He realized that he had stored these coins a long time ago. When the coins had been donated to his monastery, Tenzin, without thinking much about it, placed them in the pocket of his master's old robe while preparing for a journey, needing money for provisions. Recalling the coins in the old robe, Tenzin retrieved them and noticed that they were dirty, rusted, and looked abandoned. After his trip, Tenzin visited his spiritual master, an old sage who lived in a monastery high in the mountains. He shared the story of the forgotten coins and how they seemed to have lost their shine, as if time and neglect had diminished their value. The old man listened attentively and then smiled tenderly. "Tenzin," the elder said, "coins, like everything in this world, respond to the way we treat them. You stored this money in a forgotten place, a place that symbolizes the past. Your master's old robe is no longer a garment for daily use, but a relic of memory. By placing the money in that old pocket, you condemned it to remain trapped in time, unable to move or renew itself. The coins that once shone with potential are now dulled by neglect." Tenzin looked at the elder, intrigued but confused. "Money is living energy," continued the elder. "Just like everything that circulates in the universe, it requires respect, attention, and an appropriate place to prosper. When you put it in an old pocket or in clothing you no longer wear, you are essentially saying that you don't care enough about it. Just as relationships and opportunities need to be honored, money needs to be valued. Storing it in old clothes reflects a disconnection from the present and a lack of attention to your prosperity." The elder paused, looking deeply at Tenzin. "Remember this. When you store money in forgotten places, like old clothes or worn-out pockets, you are also neglecting your relationship with abundance. You send a message to the universe that you do not value that energy. Money is not merely material. It reflects how we interact with the world. If you treat it carelessly, it will respond in kind." Tenzin reflected on these words as he looked at the coins in his hand. He realized that by storing money in a garment he no longer wore, he had neglected his own prosperity, allowing the value of those coins to fade over time, just as his connection to the energy of money had faded. After this enlightening conversation, Tenzin made a significant change. He no longer stored money in old clothes or forgotten pockets. Instead, he found a special place in his cell where the coins could be organized and cared for in an open area, clean and bathed in the morning sunlight. This small adjustment not only improved his relationship with money, but also transformed his perception of abundance and respect for resources. Tenzin learned that money, like everything in life, needs a proper home. Just as you wouldn't plant a seed in dry, dark soil and expect it to grow, you shouldn't let your prosperity languish in darkness. Every time you store money, make sure to do so in a place that reflects respect and care. Ask yourself if you are placing your money in a space of respect or one of neglect. Remember, money, like everything else, responds to the energy you invest in it. If you forget it in an old pocket, abundance might forget you as well. Grateful for this lesson, Tenzin no longer took lightly where he stored his money, and over time, he noticed small blessings starting to flow into his life in unexpected ways. He learned that even the simplest details, like where we keep our money, can profoundly impact our relationship with prosperity. Place number 6. Under the refrigerator. Imagine Asma, a woman who had always been meticulous about saving money. Despite her careful efforts, she noticed that her savings seemed to disappear, and she struggled to keep track of them. One day, while cleaning her house, Asma decided to move the refrigerator to sweep behind it. To her surprise, she discovered a small, dusty envelope that had been crushed under the heavy appliance. Inside, she found money she had hidden years ago, thinking it was a safe place. Asma realized that, symbolically, she had been treating her money as something to hide and keep static, instead of allowing it to circulate freely in her life. Understanding this, she decided to make a change. She took the money out from under the refrigerator, carefully cleaned it, and placed it in a more open space where the energy could flow freely. Additionally, she adopted a new attitude towards her finances. Instead of hiding her money or fearing loss, she began treating it with respect, allowing it to grow and flow naturally. Asma's experience teaches a valuable lesson. Heavy appliances like refrigerators or washing machines symbolize weight, immobility, and stagnation. Hiding money beneath them can symbolize burying your prosperity under their weight. No matter how much money you have or how secure you think it is, if it's stored in a place where energy can't flow, your wealth will be limited. So, when deciding where to store your savings, remember Asma's story. Money, like a plant, needs light and space to grow. Avoid hiding it in dark corners or under heavy objects. Instead, find a place that allows movement, expansion, and openness. Only then will you allow the energy of money to flow more abundantly. Place number 7. In a broken or worn-out wallet. Once upon a time, there was a man named Gale who had a stable job and enough money to live comfortably. However, he felt that his finances were stagnant. Despite his efforts to save, Gale's bank account always seemed to empty quickly, and he struggled to accumulate a significant amount. One day, while walking through the market, Gale noticed an old man selling handicrafts. The old man's serene expression stood in contrast to the bustle of the market, drawing Gale's attention. Intrigued, Gale decided to buy a small charm. As he pulled out his wallet, the old man noticed its worn and tattered state. "That wallet has seen better days," the old man gently remarked. Gale, somewhat embarrassed, admitted that he had owned it for years and continued using it because it was still practical. The old man smiled kindly and explained, "In our tradition, we believe that everything in our lives has energy, even the most mundane objects. Your wallet is more than just a place to keep your money. It's a symbol of how you value your finances. If it's broken and worn out, it reflects a lack of care toward your own abundance. How can you expect money to flow to you if the container you use is in poor condition? It's like inviting a guest to stay in a house that's falling apart. The energy of abundance needs a decent place to reside." Gale was struck by the old man's words. He had never considered that his worn-out wallet might reflect a disconnection in how he treated his finances. He realized that storing money in a broken wallet was an unconscious reflection of how little importance he placed on his prosperity. The old man continued, "Respect for material possessions is essential, not because money is the most important thing, but because everything carries energy. A well-kept wallet sends a message to the universe that you respect and value the abundance that comes to you." Inspired by this lesson, Gale bought a new wallet from the old man, a simple yet beautiful leather piece. He began handling his money with gratitude and respect, remembering the old man's advice to care for the container of his prosperity. Over time, Gale noticed a change. Not only was he able to save more, but he also developed a healthier relationship with his money. He no longer saw it as something that disappeared, but as something that flowed to and from him, moving like energy itself. Gale learned that the state of your wallet reflects how you value your prosperity. It's not just about money. It's about your relationship with the blessings that come into your life. A broken or worn-out wallet symbolizes neglect and carelessness, while a well-kept wallet reflects respect, gratitude, and a healthy relationship with abundance. If you're storing your money in a broken wallet, it might be time for a change. Remember, everything in life, even the smallest objects, carries energy. Taking care of the home for your money also means taking care of your prosperity. As we've seen, where you store your money significantly impacts the energy in your home and consequently your prosperity. Changing these small habits can profoundly transform your relationship with abundance. In Buddhism, respect for money is key to allowing energy to flow freely in our lives. Now that you know the 7 places to avoid storing money, what changes will you make in your home to attract more prosperity? What areas of your home do you think could be affecting your financial well-being? And how do you plan to change them? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And remember to write, "Wealth and prosperity come to my life," to further activate positive energy in your life and solidify your intention to attract abundance from the universe. Don't forget to like, subscribe by turning on notifications, and share this video with your loved ones so they too can benefit. Thank you for staying with us until the end, and until next time, dear friends.